I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops. Yeah, baby, I got you.
Hey, good night, I'm on a dominant here, and I'm just joking there because you got a German laugh there, so I'm just messing with you.
My bad. I couldn't complain, man. You know, it's our second show of the day. Welcome to Mary, Miss Health, Fitness, and then some.
Thank you.
So, Mary, how are you, and Happy New Year?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Happy New Year to the both of you. I have a lot to celebrate today, and we'll get to that here, I'm sure.
Sure. Hey, so where are you located?
I'm in Sarasota, so I heard you say Tampa.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, so I've been checking out your Instagram, and it's talking about wellness. And so let me ask you, you've been at this a while. So this is not like something new. You've been at this a while. What has made you kind of change your directions or shift to really start dialing in and focusing on people like over 45 into their health and wellness?
Well, because I aged. I'm 52. So I'll start out by saying that, I'm healthier and happier and more alive at 52 than I've ever been in my life. And now let me rewind and just tell you that I didn't grow up healthy. I didn't come out of the womb healthy. My parents are fantastic. I had a great upbringing, but they weren't going to the gym. We weren't eating, chicken and broccoli for dinner. It was more Mrs. Paul's fish sticks and mac and cheese. If you're Gen X, you understand what I'm saying. And so, I didn't know what it looked like to have, consistency with healthy habits and all that stuff. And so, but I was skinny as a rail growing up. So, turn sideways and you're gone kind of thing. And then I entered into college. I got into college and I gained 30 pounds in my first 3 months. So I defied the freshman 15 and I just decided, I'm going to really achieve 30 because that feels like the great thing to do. And I did that with, I'm just going to be real here on your show. I hope that's okay. But
okay.
That happened with drugs, alcohol, a whole lot of Taco Bell at 2 a.m. and just a lifestyle. It was incredibly unhealthy.
The normal, I'm 58, so I totally understand because I went to Georgia Southern, but are you a Noah fan or are you a Gator fan?
I grew up in Maryland, so I went to Marshall University for 2 years.
Okay.
And I graduated from Towson State in Maryland. So
okay, I don't know where both of them are. So you really talk about the process of the 80s or the early 90s of what people went through and what you went through yourself. And so what made you kind of start to shift gears and understand why you had to go a different direction?
Absolutely. So put the weight on, came up for Christmas break. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy because, when you're unhealthy on the inside, you're unhealthy on the outside. So the hair's falling out. I had acne all over my face. I was clearly a larger human. And so I went through most of my adult life as what I like to call a chronic yo-yoer. I knew I wanted to figure out this healthy lifestyle thing, but I couldn't seem to stay on the wagon. I would do good for about 3 months. Then I was like, I look better than most of the people in the gym. So one missed workout turns into weeks of missed workouts, turns into I've fallen off the wagon again. And then you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you get back on the wagon. So that was my life for, I'd say, about 16 years of my adult years. And I kept saying to people, and your audience, I'm sure, can relate, how are you staying healthy like day in and day out? And they'd all say the same thing to me. Well, you have to work out and you have to eat healthy. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I get the formula. I understand the what. I need to know the how. And no one could verbalize that to me. And then in 2008, I happened to be working out with my personal trainer at the gym. And she just could see on my face I was once again sick and tired of being sick and tired. So she sat me down. She's like, sit down. And she introduced me to a full wellness system because she realized I wasn't embracing nutrition. And as you guys know, nutrition is 80% of us being our healthiest selves. And I was killing it on the gym floor. So I was loaded with muscle, but I had all this fluff on top of it because I wasn't embracing nutrition.
Yeah.
So the full wellness system didn't just include a very doable nutrition plan that was sustainable for life, but great workouts and the most critical piece, which is accountability. So many of us have the tools and the resources and we know what to do, but we don't do it. And so we have to have that level of accountability that someone is noticing and caring when we're not showing up. And so 2008 is when the whole ship turned around. Weeks were turning into months, months were turning into years, and I was not falling off the wagon anymore. And that's when things started to change for me dramatically.
That's when it kind of clicked for you and everything, and started understanding where the health. I think we all go through it. I mean, same thing when I was in college. I put on a bunch of weight. I stopped playing sports. I put on a bunch of weight, lost it, got back into doing, events, running, and then the Army kind of helped me out a little in the winter. I got out of college. I got commissioned with the military. It kind of got me really in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it really helps prevent disease when you talk about being strong. So during the time of COVID, how did you navigate that? How did you help your friends navigate during COVID? Because I think it's really prevalent now, because every day on the news they're talking about the flu, respiratory issues, and all this other stuff, and they all plays into health. So how did you help people during that time?
I didn't talk about it at the time because I certainly didn't want to gloat about it, but my business exploded with COVID and with quarantine because I had two solutions to very big, real problems that were happening in the world. One, I had a home-based wellness system, and people couldn't get to the gym. And along with that piece of the gift, we all needed to have a strong immune system more than ever in our lives, because we needed to be able to defend our bodies from getting this horrible COVID. Number one. Number two, I had a home-based business, and I mentor business owners to do the same thing I'm doing. So I had a home-based business opportunity. I had a home-based wellness system. And I got onto TikTok, which happened right before quarantine, by the way. I had a business mentor that I paid $12,000 a year to, advise me and help me. And she kept really pushing me to get onto TikTok. And I'm like, look, I like it. It's fun, but I have way too many social media channels. And as you know, if you're going to run a business on a social media platform the right way, you have to put time there. And so anyway, I kept fighting her. I said, no. And then I got on March the 7th of 2020, which was before quarantine. So now I'm on, and then quarantine hit. So all of my people, like attracts like, so all my Gen Xers are coming on to TikTok and have fun.
They had to find something to do. And I'm going to honestly tell you, like, that's where Peloton got paid. And I mean, nothing wrong with it. I'm just going to be honest with you, is because people were at home and they needed to do something. And it kind of was like, it kind of God helped you out there.
Well, it was this perfect storm. And again, I didn't talk about it at the time because people were getting laid off and losing their job and furloughed, and people were sick and people were dying. So the last thing I wanted to do is go, look at me, my business is doubling, I'm flourishing, and everything's fabulous in my world. So I didn't really talk about what was happening with my business until we were all kind of getting back to normal. And we got back to normal a little faster in Florida, as you guys know. But anyway, the perfect storm was not just that I had a home-based wellness system to help people, and not just that I had a home-based business to help people, but that I was also on this platform where all of my people are. I had this amazing audience. So it was like this collision of, oh my gosh. So, it happens naturally. I mean, you have to be intentional about stuff like this, but I got on, I started going live, I started posting content. And if you guys know anything about TikTok, listen, Instagram is wonderful, Facebook is wonderful in its own right, but TikTok, you can be your most authentic self. People accept you for truly your most authentic self. It's very freeing. It's it's wonderful. And so this community started to form as I was going live, and people were, starting to consume my content. And they named themselves, I'm a huge 80s rock fan. It's part of my brand. Rock and vitality, baby. And
I see it on Instagram all the time. And you hit everything that everything I was telling you. I grew up in the 80s, man. 80s is the greatest time.
There we go. So, I mean, I graduated high school in 89. I was born in 71. I bleed neon. It just doesn't get any more 80s. The hair is still, it's just a lot going on. So that's right. They named themselves Mary's Crew, and they spell it CRUE, like Motley Crue. The community literally named themselves. And I'm like, this is nuts. It's like, it became like Cheers. And I've never I've never experienced anything like it. So as the months were rolling on, the community is now 430,000 strong, as you can see on TikTok. And listen, I'm a small fish in a large pond. 430,000, I'm proud of. I love it. They're wonderful, but I'm not. It's not like I have millions and millions of followers. But they're amazing. And so what happened was we get on these lives and we start playing 80s rock and we start having a great time. And people are asking me health and wellness questions because I go live after my workout. So I'm in my workout clothes. They know I'm a health and wellness coach. And so peppered in between all the music is, you have so much energy. How do you have energy? I can't figure out how to stay consistent with my workouts. What do you recommend? And so I started building not only this community of really fun, rockin' 80s people, but people who had an interest in what I had to help them with, what I had to say. And it's just, what a great way for me to serve, God's kingdom, God's people by being able to help them through rock and roll and TikTok.
Mike is on it. I was waiting on him to see if he was going to post for it, so I was all excited.
And this is the one he picks. He picks White Wedding, where I act like a complete lunatic. Great, thanks. There we go.
Good job, Mike. Well, so Mary, let me ask you this, though. You talk about the environment. So what environment does a person need to kind of have around them to get to that wellness? Because all environments don't work. So, I mean, even at home, how do you kind of help them massage the area that they need to get into, to get to that ambiance of emotion? Absolutely.
Great question. So the most common question that I get, DMs, comments, whatever, is, and I hate the word wish. I actually, if you're around me and you say, I wish, fill in the blank, you have to do 10 push-ups. So don't. But the point is that, so people will say, I wish I had your energy. Biggest thing I ever get. And so I'm like, why can't you? Don't wish for it. And so the answer to your question is, and with the answer I give people is 3 things. Strong faith, first and foremost. I'm healthy and I feel great, which makes it easier to be a happier human. And you have to surround yourself with people that lift you up and they don't drag you down. We become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Who are your 5? Well, here's the advice I give, and you can take it or leave it, you and your audience and the audience. It doesn't mean we have to literally cut ties with people in our lives. However, you do have the power and the choice of who you hang around with a lot. Okay. So you don't have to necessarily sit down with a friend who's very negative and say, look, I can't be friends with you anymore. Mary Schrank was on this podcast and she said, you do not lift me up, you drag me down. Okay. But the point is that when that friend calls and they want to get together twice a week, once a month, and that person brings you down, you don't have to say yes. You can still be that person's friend, allow your positivity to maybe help them to be a better person. And you don't have to necessarily say yes. However, here's the thing. We all know, okay, if you think of your 5 people you spend the most time with, if you're married, one of them's a spouse, I think, unless you don't live together. You got parents in there that you might spend a lot of time with. You may not have control over all of the 5 that you have to spend a lot of time with. Maybe it's a cube, somebody at work and you're the cube next to you and they're terribly negative, right? But here's the thing, not all 5 are those people. Not all 5 are negative, okay? So let's say you got one negative person, maybe your spouse or your mom or whatever is negative in your life. You better damn sure make sure the other 3 or 4 are people that are genuinely lifting you up. So what I mean by that is people that support your goals, support your dreams. They can be honest with you and say, look, that's going to be hard as hell, but look, I'm right here for you. Let me know what I can do to help you. I just published a book yesterday. It officially published and went live. And I never dreamt in a million years I'd write a book. I never dreamt in a million years I'd have something of value to say in a book that people would even want to buy. But that came from this community that I have on social media saying, and here's what they said, you give us all these great tips. Are they somewhere in one place that I can access? Versus go scroll through 15, 20 years of social media content to see if you can find what you need to help you today. And so they generated that goal and then they encouraged, inspired, and held me accountable to make it happen. Those are the kind of people that you need in your life. That's why I tell you that example is, you need people in your life who are like, that's a hairy, scary goal, but I believe in you and you can do this, you know, and you can do this. So they're not easy to find. Not everybody is going to be, you know, your greatest cheerleader. But again, you're not looking just for cheerleaders. You're looking for people that are respectfully direct with you and hold you to your shiz. And if you're swaying off and you're doing things that are unethical or that's not the right thing to do, you've got to have people in that 5 that are saying, you know, I know that's a lot of fun over there. That ain't good for you.
And, you know, and hey, Mike, you got anything where you would have flashed stuff?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what made you really reach the goal where you're at now? What you know, the fit and rock and everything that you're doing right now. What was the pinnacle of it? Because you said you went through a transformation.
Yes.
Then when did you want to take it 100% all the way?
Okay, so the personal transformation, as I said, happened in July of 2008 when I was introduced to a full wellness system and I started to really embrace nutrition and accountability and the other piece mindset. You know, when I work with a new client, the very first thing we do is work on this muscle between the ears. If you don't believe that your thoughts are powerful, test them out. What you think, you know, what our thoughts control our feelings control our actions, and our actions control the outcome and the results of our life. Absolutely. Therefore, our thoughts control the outcome and the results of our life. So you got to get this muscle right here in the right place, and that is belief, and that is determination and relentlessness, and whatever it takes for you to be your best self. It's not about necessarily a 6-pack unless you want to, right? But be your best self, feel your best. And so in 2008, I was starting to personally like, okay, oh my gosh, you know, I feel amazing. And, you know, I was rolling through my 40s and every year I was looking better, feeling better. And I'm like, this is nuts. Like I'm aging in the wrong order. My Benjamin Button, what the hell's happening here? And so and people were saying to me, what are you doing? This is crazy. So 4 years in, I find out that I can partner with the company of this wellness system and can have a business. And I was a corporate executive, by the way. I was corner office, 6 figures, all the fancy. I was a healthcare executive. That's what I went to college for. And so I said no many, many times because I'm like, you know, I'm the corner office girl and I got the, you know, whatever. All things don't matter. And then, you know, God takes a 2x4 and pounds you over the head and says, look, this is your calling. I'm putting it right in front of you. You're going to do something with it or you're not. So I decided, yes, let me do this. Let me pay this forward. Oh, that's an old ass one. What are you doing? Oh, geez, a witch. Whoa, wow. Let's get
it's out there. It's out there. It is out there for the world to see.
Oh, she is a mess. Ay. So I decide, you know what? I'm going to pay this forward. You know, I've changed my life with this and I'm not going to hide this anymore. I'm going to pay this forward. So I started the business. So you asked me, you know, when did this, I don't know how to explain this to people. And that's part of my brand is stop being scared of aging. Like the hashtag that I use a lot is last half, best half. That is no dig on the first half. Got married, had an amazing son, raised him, did all the things, climbed the corporate ladder, went to college, did all the things, right? And I'm proud of all of that. But that doesn't mean that the last half of our life can't be even better than the first half.
I'm right there with you because I'm going to be, I'll be 59 this year. And,
there you go.
And me and my daughter, Jasmine, we are working. So my 60th birthday, I'm going to compete in an NPC bodybuilding competition.
Oh.
And I told her, so I am totally grinding right now. And it's the thing is I told her, I said, the back of life, I got less years in front of me and I had a whole bunch behind me.
But if your head is in that space, we're talking about the thoughts. If you're thinking, well, I only got 30 more years and, you know, this kind of sucks and I'm sad about it. I just had a conversation with one of my followers yesterday about this. He said, I lay in bed depressed thinking that I only have 30 years left. And I'm like, no, stop depressed. So my point is that as I got into my 50s, and this is what I want everyone within an earshot to know, if you're not 50 yet, you have a lot to look forward to. And I know Vince will back me on this. Mike seems younger than us. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll let the young buck wait on his turn. But when you get into your 50s, there's something that happens to a lot of us. I don't know about all of us, but to a lot of us, you stop giving a rat's fucking ass what people think. And you just become this, it's literally a butterfly thing. I don't know how to explain it. You're just like, I can conquer the world. I can solve world hunger. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to help these people. Watch me. And that's what started happening to me. I was like, I can do whatever I want to do, and I'm going to. And so, and because I was embracing this mindset, I now hold my people accountable on social media and my clients that have this poo-poo mindset of, oh, aging sucks. Da, da, da. It does if you think it does. It doesn't if you don't think it does. And you look at me and you're, oh, you have this energy. I want your energy. I want your hair, your face, or whatever you say about me. Well, you know what? It's because I have this mindset. And so if you get out of the damn gutter, fix your 5, fix your head and this muscle, you too can have a glow. You too can have this energy, you know?
Yeah, you know, Albert Einstein said that you can't solve the problems of today with the thinking of yesterday. And it's funny is I told Mike this in the car today when we were coming up here to the studio, and I said, look, when you turn 50, it's a game changer. And it's funny that you bring that up. It's because I literally, and I did fight in combat a couple of times. So my mind is definitely not where everybody else is, because I've seen the worst of mankind and the best side of mankind.
And thank you, Vince. Thank you for your service. No, I mean that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And so I just tell everybody, you got to embrace what you have and then take full advantage of it. And so, you know, I had some people when I told them I was going to do the bodybuilding thing go, oh, man, really? You know, I just got the negative vibe. But my driving force was my middle child, Jazz. You know, she's 27. She goes, when are we getting started, Dad? When do you need me to help you? Let's do this. And she's starting to compete. She's going to compete with me during that show. So it just, yeah. So, I mean, Mary, when you talk about it, it's just resonating with me because it's such a powerful thing that people need to kind of hear and understand. All right. So when you talk about one thing about being active, and you brought that up just now about being active, how do you get your clients that are struggling with bad habits, not wanting to be active, and justifying bad behavior? Because that's my biggest issue with a lot of my friends that we run into at the gym is that they justify with excuse and bad behavior of saying they have a reason behind the bad behavior, which means they can't get fit.
Okay, so first thing, you told me your favorite quote. I got to tell you mine. Look, Henry Ford was an ass. Okay, he's not my favorite person in the world, but his quote of whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It couldn't be more true about our thoughts. So I got to put that out there. I added it to my book. That's how much I love that quote. And you know, my book's title is Eat the Fucking Pizza, just so you know. Okay, but the point of me telling you that is the subtitle is Simplifying Healthy So You Live Life with Rock and Vitality. And so my whole existence, once I turned that corner, as you said, Mike, was, oh my gosh, what was the difference? What did I do? What made the difference? And why did I stop falling off the wagon? Is I found simplicity in healthy. Okay, the health and wellness industry overcomplicates healthy 10 ways to Sunday. One day eggs are good, next day they're bad. One day we're supposed to be this, the next day that. And the first thing you said when we got started with this is about me having these diets. And I will also say to you and to those listening, we don't. You need to redefine the word diet. We're not on diets. We have a diet. Everything you put in your pie hole is your diet, both good and bad. So as soon as you start to work with someone and they tell you you're going to be on a diet, what happens? Immediately your thoughts conjure restriction and deprivation, and it sets you up for failure. So I no longer want you to use the word diet in that conjure. You are not on a diet. I don't help my clients with a diet. I help my clients to learn a nutrition plan that is truly sustainable for life, that allows for cheats and treats and allows you to eat the fucking pizza. You just can't eat it every day. And so the answer to your question is when I'm starting to work with a client and they have all these excuses and they've been sitting on the couch forever and I can't. And trust and believe that that's about 98% of them, okay? I know you know. The first thing you have to know about me is if you think that I'm going to coddle you, I am not the person for you. Okay. I'm very kind. I'm high compassion gifted, but I will be respectfully direct with you because you do not need another cheerleader and someone to stroke your damn arm. You need someone to be truthful with you and help you to achieve your goals. And a cheerleader only is not going to help you to do that. So the first thing I do is call them out on all their shit. And I put this in the book too. And I'm like, look, you tell me your issue and I'll tell you a client who's overcome it because I've got plenty of them. I got a client in a wheelchair that lifts weights in a wheelchair. I got a client with MS whose legs are so bad that he does his workouts on his knees on the floor. I got a client over here who can't see. So all she can do is she's blind. She can just listen to the workouts to do. I go on and on. You tell me, I'll tell you. And so, but really, truly answering your question is, a full wellness system is a lot. Okay, I'm going to help you get started with a new nutrition plan you got to learn. You got workouts you've never done before. You don't know these trainers. You don't know these things. You might not even have the equipment in your home. Now putting you into an accountability group. You got an accountability partner who's going to kick your ass and call you out and do shit. You got a whole accountability family over here who's going to call you out. That's a lot, right? Woo! So it's just about one step at a time. And so a lot of times, the very first thing I will help someone work on is, look, we're just going to get the water piece right, because water is the most important piece to the nutrition plan. If you don't get this right, you can forget. Who cares if you eat broccoli every day? You got to get in half of your body weight in ounces per day up to a gallon. Water is the life of it all. So right. To those people that are freaking out, and overwhelm is a choice. I can't overwhelm you. Nothing can overwhelm you. You overwhelm yourself. And so I don't want them to overwhelm themselves. So I'm like, look, we're going to go one step up on this ladder. We're just going to get the water piece right. Once you get that right, we're going to take the next step on the ladder. We'll start incorporating the rest of the nutrition plan. Get that right, because the workouts are the least important piece. They're important, but they're not as important. So let's get nutrition right. You'll see a lot of change there, and then we'll incorporate your workouts. That's for the people who are like, I don't want to do it all at the same time.
On TikTok, going back and forth on a bunch of wellness people, bunch of trainers. All right, so women and lifting weights over 40. There's been so much over the years of cardio versus weightlifting. So what is your take on that controversy?
Oh man, everything you hit on is a button in me. I feel like I should be pushing buttons. You're pushing all the buttons. Okay. Cardio is cardiovascular conditioning. Cardiovascular conditioning is nothing more than elevating your heart rate. If I handed you 20-pound dumbbells and told you to do squats, would your heart rate elevate? Yes. So muscle burns fat. We've got to have, number one, especially as we age, all of us, we have to have lean muscle in our body to not only keep us strong so we don't fall, trip, break the hip, all the things, but the muscle, it also controls the bone. We got to keep our bone strong, because as we age, we got the bone density issues, especially with women. Osteoporosis is prevalent. I personally, I can tell you my success story with this. I was osteopenia when I started this wellness system in 2008, which means I was borderline osteoporosis. All the women in my family have osteoporosis. My mother takes pills every day.
That means it's kind of fragile, that you could break something, right?
Yes. You fall, and the chances are really high you're going to fracture something. So here I am, osteopenia. I'm coming into this wellness system. I am now not only into the healthy range, I'm into the athletic range. I'm into the healthiest range I can be when it comes to bone density. I get a DEXA scan every year, which is the best way to get your bone density results. Anyway, the long and short of it is, not only do we need muscle in our body to be lean and strong, but we need it in our body for burning fat and calories. We need it in our body to keep our bones strong. Women, please listen to me. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Are you listening? Jesus, Linda. If you all know that TikTok thing. Listen, Linda. You know that's a little kid talking to his mom? Do you know that? Just so you know.
I love it. Well, my best one is the little kid that says bullshit, but we're gonna...
Oh my God. This little kid is like, listen, Linda. His mom's like, my name's Mom to you. She's like, listen, Linda. So listen, Linda, you are not going to bulk up. We don't have enough testosterone in our bodies, ladies, to bulk up. The women that you see that are bulky, they're taking supplements and they're doing things to look that bulky. I lift, ask my husband, he works out with me. I curl 20s. I'm holding 50s when I'm doing squats. I know you can't see my muscle through the shirt, but do I look like a bulky human? Go look at my videos. I'm not a bulky, we can't bulk up. So don't be afraid, because most women, that's what they're like, I'm lifting heavy because I want to be like lean and Pilates girl. Look, Pilates is fantastic. Yoga is fantastic. Football players do yoga before they go watch the football players before they start that football game. They're all doing freaking yoga. It's amazing. I have Mobility Wednesday. Every Wednesday I do mobility work. Especially as we age, we got to keep the joints oiled, okay? But lift freaking weights and lift heavy weights.
Very informative. I mean, you're right. I'm 46, by the way, and thank you for telling me I was young. I got
I
5
like
more
it.
years. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mom.
You look like you're 30. I don't know, too.
Tell it again. Look at Vince. Hey there.
You're looking good, Vince. My son's 28. I just became a grandmother, by the way. I'm a grandmother. Gigi over here. Gigi.
Gigi. Hey, Mary, it has been a blast having you on, and we're going to rock this out and definitely get your book attached to it. But now, you brought a lot of knowledge to the table, and I appreciate you. And as me and Mike G always say when people come on, keep it.
I got